Is James Gunn quitting DC? Is he getting fired? Official prediction time. Quick context, this has nothing to do with whether or not Zack Snyder will return to finish his DCEU projects. That's discussed in another video. But first, let's look at the facts, much of what the community likes to ignore. A lot of this conversation revolves around the provocative comments made by John Campea about a week ago where he predicted with 100% certainty that James Gunn will resign before the WBD Paramount merger even concludes. And those that believe it will happen or want it to happen were ignited this week when James Gunn was a no-show for Warner Brothers' first meeting with David Ellison and Paramount. He missed one meeting and the internet acts like he faked his own death and Zack Snyder moved in with his wife. James Gunn has never shown any evidence that he would throw away career ambitions for political reasons. Show me a single instance. Show me. Put it in the comments. In fact, I can show evidence of the opposite. Remember Chris Pratt, the actor who James Gunn catapulted into a Hollywood star? A known Christian conservative who he has endless disagreements with. Not only do they have a wonderful relationship, but it's continued into today, and Chris Pratt will most likely join the DCU. Not to mention, did everyone forget that James Gunn worked with a company that took away his livelihood? When Disney fired James Gunn after old tweets came out, when they offered him a chance to return, he took it, and he made Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. He still considers Kevin Feige a friend today, and some say they even exchanged friendship rings. So James Gunn leaving before the WBD Paramount merger? Sorry, John Campea, but I think you're completely wrong on this one. I do not believe James Gunn will resign as co-CEO of DC Studios before the merger. Nobody with a $200 million sandbox walks out on principle. They leave when security walks them out. But that does not mean James Gunn is safe. Not at all. Superman, while it made a lot of money through ancillary profit, underperformed in the box office, notably particularly overseas. Peacemaker Season's 2 performance was mixed. Its finale did rank in the Nielsen's rating, which showed growth throughout the episodes. However, all evidence points to a lower performance than Season 1. Creature Commandos? I have no idea. But Season 2 was greenlit immediately after Season 1. And while James Gunn is co-CEO of DC Studios, he's not the only one that makes a decision on whether or not a project is greenlit. Remember, Warner Brothers owns DC Studios, who is billions of dollars in debt. They literally cannot afford to greenlight projects that lose money. The success for Supergirl, Clayface, Lanterns matters. What Supergirl and particularly Clayface have in their favor is a much smaller budget in comparison to their superhero counterparts. Clayface's budget, for example, is only $40 million and yes, will take place in Gotham City. But if these projects fail, keeping James Gunn while the DC fandom is in the midst of a civil war would not make sense. Why keep the general if every movie results in the fandom reenacting January 6th with Funko Pops? James Gunn would absolutely be let go under these circumstances. But what about him missing a meeting with Paramount and David Ellison? Jennifer Holland, who stars in several DC projects, accepted the award for Peacemaker Season 2, winning the Saturn TV Best Superhero Show of 2025. When accepting the reward, she actually thanked Paramount on their behalf. Let me repeat that. James Gunn's wife thanked Paramount while acknowledging they soon will be under Paramount's umbrella. That is not I'm about to walk out energy. That is I've already rehearsed my speech to the new boss energy. You do not do this if you are planning a political walkout. Don't get me wrong, there is a scenario where James Gunn does resign from DC Studios. If he's not given the independence that he has currently, particularly with the mainstream DC universe, I could absolutely see him walking. I do foresee a scenario where Paramount involves themselves with Elseworld stories, which I think James Gunn would be okay with. As far as the DCU, I could see them saying things like, hey, can we rush that Batman Brave and the Bold movie already? Can we have more Batman movies? but I don't foresee themselves actually involving themselves with the scripts, the directors, or James Gunn's vision. But let me know what you think in the comments.